From WDTN, the station that's working for you, this is 2 News at 6.
And they called me, the principal did, on his cell phone to let me know that my son was one of the students injured.
Now at 6, the community moves forward after the school shooting at Madison Junior Senior High.
A suspect in court.
Our number one priority is to make our students feel comfortable and safe.
A school district working to return to normal.
It sounded like a bag popping, but really loud.
Students remembering frightening moments in a school cafeteria and hoping something like this never happens again.
A small thought in somebody's head that's buried in there can change them forever.
Live team coverage of the Madison school shooting is moments away, but we begin with a weather system moving through the Miami Valley.
It's bringing rain, even some snow. Chief Meteorologist Brian Davis tracking it for you. And a first look at your Storm Team 2 forecast.
Yeah, fortunately, most of the snow has been to the north of us through northern Indiana up into southern and central Michigan. So if you have travel plans that way tonight, it's kind of messy up that way. We're dealing with rain, but you can see the back edge right now along US 127, heading over toward State Route 49. This is all quickly moving eastward, as you can see. So by 7 o'clock, really looks like much of the area will be drying out. Right now, though, we're dealing with some strong winds. West wind 26 miles per hour makes it feel like 37. Air temperature at 46, but it won't be that warm for much longer as much colder air is moving in. The winter weather index low tonight because of the windy, colder weather that's arriving. Also, we could see a couple of flakes of snow, not to mention some of the rain that's fallen today. Some of the runoff from that could be freezing here later this evening and overnight as colder air arrives. Another chance of snow coming up this week, and I'll tell you when in the Storm Team 2 7-day forecast.
Now to updates on the shooting at Madison Junior Senior High School. Classes will resume tomorrow after the Madison Local Schools District closed today, so staff could put together some plans in support of the students following the shooting on Monday.
And in a courtroom today, alleged shooter, 14-year-old James Austin Hancock's attorney, entered a denial of charges plea.
James, age 14, did bring a loaded handgun to school and fired several shots, hitting 2 students. This caused the school to go into lockdown.
Hancock is accused of shooting 2 of his fellow students, injuring 2 others in the school cafeteria late Monday morning. He now faces attempted murder, felonious assault, inducing panic, and making terrorist threat charges. His next court date will be April 5th.
Butler County Sheriff Richard Jones released some more information about the shooting this afternoon. He says Hancock took the gun on Saturday. Sheriff Jones says the teen admitted to the shooting and did give them a motive. However, investigators have not yet verified his motive. Sheriff Jones says he believes had the school resource officer not entered the cafeteria just seconds after the shooting began, more students certainly would have been injured because Hancock, he says, had more ammunition.
In the meantime, outside of Madison Junior Senior High this morning, the superintendent praised his staff and the students for their response to the shooting.
The district is planning several things to help the students get back into a normal routine. 2 News reporter Robert Lowry is live in Madison Township, where the first part of those plans is happening now.
Well, Mark and Katie, the door is actually just open here for the first time to students, the first time they're returning to Madison Junior Senior High School after that shooting yesterday. The district wanting to do something to get the students feeling a little bit more comfortable, so they're opening up the doors for a walkthrough, and you can actually see just how many have showed up here tonight with this parking lot starting to get full of people. The door is opening at 6 o'clock. We have sheriff's deputies here, first responders here, and you can just see how the district is trying to just make students feel a little bit better about coming to school tomorrow. Already this morning, actually, teachers and staff were already here. They had the doors open for them, counselors meeting with those district employees. And tonight, those same people will be here welcoming students with open arms. Families will be able to go through the halls, return to the cafeteria even, where shots were fired and those 4 students were injured. The superintendent says he feels like this is the best thing to do to help those students feel better about returning here tomorrow.
Many of our staff members will be available tonight to help greet families, and our intention is just to allow students to walk the halls and help them feel confident before they return to school tomorrow.
And the walkthrough will end at 7:30 tonight, but the support really does not end there. The superintendent saying that some of the teachers and staff will be on buses greeting the students, making sure that they are the first ones that they see when they are on their way to school. Also, counselors will be here at the school for those students tomorrow. They'll be in media centers and also in the cafeteria where that shooting took place. All of that to make sure that everyone feels comfortable trying to get things back to normal and move forward after yesterday's shooting. Reporting live, Robert Lowry, 2 News, working for you.
All right, Robert, thanks. Tonight we're also hearing about acts of heroism in that shooting at Madison Junior Senior High.
One of the students injured is credited with jumping in to help others. 2 News reporter Kelly King is live at Miami Valley Hospital with that act of bravery. And Kelly, an update on how the victims are doing tonight.
Mark, Katie, at last check, Cameron Smith and Cooper Caffrey are recovering here at Miami Valley Hospital, where both are in stable condition. Now, those other 2 students hurt in that shooting, Catherine Doucette and Brant Murray, are actually out of the hospital tonight. Both are doing fine, and one is even being hailed a hero.
This is nothing that you can ever prepare for.
Ginger Weaver is a nurse, but never did she think her own son would be caught in gunfire. When chaos erupted inside Madison Junior Senior High School, students say her son, Brant Murray, knocked other students to the ground to get them out of the way.
He was actually sitting at the table with all the boys that were shot. They were sitting there eating lunch because they're round tables, and the boy that did the shooting was at the table next to him. Said he got up and just turned around, pointed the gun, and just opened fire on the table.
Brant was one of 2 students hit by shrapnel when police say James Austin Hancock started shooting in the cafeteria. 14-year-old Catherine Doucette was also grazed by a bullet and shows where shrapnel hit her knee. Her mother says it's difficult to relive.
The most horrifying thing is, how do you get to your children fast enough?
While doctors say Catherine is physically okay, her mother says she's still shaken by the incident. She says now they are both just asking why.
She's still kind of shocked that it happened. She's gone to Madison since kindergarten, and she's known these kids, you know, even the shooter, she knows. And it's hard to think that, you know, her biggest question is why.
Doctors say both Cameron Smith and Cooper Caffrey are expected to make a full recovery. We, of course, will keep you updated on their conditions. For now, reporting live in Dayton, Kelly King, 2 News, working for you.
Okay, Kelly, thanks. We're also speaking with students and members of the community to learn more about Monday morning shooting.
We've confirmed the accused shooter and a victim were both members of the wrestling team. 2 News reporter Jake Ryle continues our team coverage and explains how a community is coming together.
Innocence lost in a split second.
I'm at Madison High School. There's a shooting. A kid got a gun and he started shooting people.
Madison is not a school that you typically hear of any issues from.
But after a 14-year-old allegedly opened fire in the cafeteria, Heather Gibson, owner of Triple Moon Coffee Company, knew exactly where she should be. Her coffee spot is where many Madison students like to spend their time.
I wanted to be here just so they could see a friendly face and, and maybe try to make people feel a little better.
She calls herself a mom to all of the Madison kids, which is why she was especially worried about one of the students.
I asked my staff if they had seen him.
He is senior Jacob Farler, an employee at the coffee shop. We spoke with Farler, a wrestler at Madison Senior High School.
The victims and the shooter were both wrestlers, or previous wrestlers.
He says the alleged shooter, James Austin Hancock, went by Austin. Hancock was in his first year of wrestling at the middle school.
We didn't personally know them too well because they were junior high, but I mean, we still saw them every day at practice, and so it's just kind of more of a surreal thing.
Farler says Monday's scene didn't fit Hancock's personality.
He usually had a smile on his face. He seemed happy. He's joking around and everything.
Wednesday, he and his sister, a sophomore, will return to school.
This just is kind of a wake-up call, but it just kind of shows us there's still some kids that could be in trouble or going through things, and I think it'll really pull the whole school together.
That's all you can do, is move forward. You can move forward and pray for those that are affected.
Jake Ryle, 2 News, working for you.
And we will continue following this important story, bring you updates as we get them online at WDTN.com as well as here on the air.
Charges approved for the man accused of killing his pastor brother after a church service. What is next in that murder case?
New information tonight about that pastor killed and the brother accused of shooting him. Formal charges have now been approved for 68-year-old Daniel Schooler. He's the one accused of killing his brother, Pastor William Schooler, Sunday after a service at St. Peter's Missionary Baptist. Daniel Schooler's charges include murder and aggravated murder. He is tonight in the Montgomery County Jail. His case will go before the Montgomery County Grand Jury. And a Dayton police detective takes the stand in a murder trial. Robert Gilmore Jr., charged with complicity to commit murder. Prosecutors say he provided the gun used to kill DeMarcus Burris in July on North Delmar Avenue in Dayton. Police say Gilmore, along with Jamar Howard and Carlos Craig, are all linked to the crime. That trial expected to continue the rest of this week.
A man accused of breaking into a Vandalia gun shop and stealing 25 handguns appeared in court. A judge set bond for Denard Smith at $100,000. Smith is charged with breaking and entering and grand theft for a break-in at the Vandalia Range and Armory. He's scheduled to be back in court on March 17th.
Two fatal crashes involving wrong-way drivers in the Miami Valley in recent weeks. So what should you do if a wrong-way driver is coming right at you?
And the winds crank up tonight, and that wind is bringing back some colder air. Also, there's more snow in the Storm Team 2 forecast as well. All the details just coming up minutes from now.
They are rare, but they are deadly. And here in the Miami Valley, we've been reminded of that twice in recent weeks. They also present a very dangerous and unique challenge to law enforcement and all of us. So what is the right way to deal with a wrong-way driver?
1050, myself, I've just been hit by that individual. 1050, blocking number 1.
We call them wrong-way drivers, but law enforcement calls them lethal drivers, and for good reason. While they cause only 3% of all divided highway crashes, theirs are 100 times more likely to be fatal, a fact that's been driven home here twice in recent weeks.
Looks like head-on collision.
Okay, do you know if there's anybody injured?
I checked the pulse on one guy and I didn't feel anything.
On February 13th, a man driving the wrong way on I-75 in Dayton slammed head-on into an SUV. He was killed, as were 4 others, all of them in their 20s, including 3 members of a local band.
I was passing Stewart Road on 71 going northbound. There's somebody in the fast lane going southbound.
And just 4 days later, a wrong-way driver on I-71 in Cincinnati also hit an oncoming car. This time, the wrong-way driver survived, but the other man simply driving home from work was killed.
Wrong-way drivers has got to be one of the most challenging traffic-related calls for law enforcement.
To learn how police respond to these calls and what the rest of us should do, I hit the road with Deputy Tony Ball, the traffic crash reconstructionist for the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office. He says most wrong-way drivers are impaired by drugs or alcohol, and certain days and times are especially high risk.
It seems that Saturdays and Sundays and then Fridays are the most common days of the week for these types of crashes. And studies have shown that these crashes occur when it's dark outside. When you start looking at that data even further, the frequency goes up drastically around 2 a.m., 3 a.m. And of course that kind of correlates with the closing of liquor establishments.
So when those 911 calls start coming in, what do police do? The National Sheriff's Association and most law enforcement agencies prohibit their officers from chasing a wrong-way driver, but they do have to get their attention. So the basic rule of thumb is what I'm about to do going to make the situation better or worse?
Obviously we can try to block entrance ramps. We can try to deploy officers in a manner to slow traffic. I guess my fear is in trying to let people know, especially from the lawful side of the roadway, are we going to distract those folks and then they're not even going to see the wrong way driver? That's what worries me.
So what should the other drivers do? Ball says be heads up, especially during those high-risk days and times. And remember that a wrong-way drunk driver coming at you will likely stay to your left or his right, hoping not to get pulled over for OVI.
The suggestion would be that you immediately slow and move to the right, over to the shoulder, or in some cases a grassy roadside, and stop. Call 911 once that wrong way driver has passed you.
And technology may soon provide some much-needed answers. Work is being done right now on systems that would use your car's GPS to tell you that you're going the wrong way and also alert you that a wrong-way driver is coming right at you.
Now, Chief Meteorologist Brian Davis and your Storm Team 2 forecast.
Well, let's check out that forecast this evening. Look for a big change in temperatures. It's going to feel like winter by the end of the evening as readings will be heading back below freezing by late evening, and wind chill numbers will be dropping down into the teens. 43 at 7 o'clock, 34 at 9 p.m., 31 at 11, a few rain showers at 7 o'clock, and then late this evening and overnight, chance for some snow flurries overnight with little or no accumulation expected. 24 at 8 o'clock in the morning, maybe a flurry or two around, then we get back partly, even mostly sunny skies tomorrow afternoon, up into the mid-30s, and we'll see that temperature around 33 at 5 o'clock. High tomorrow should be up around 34 degrees. Our headlines tonight, that rain ending from west to east over about the next 30 to 45 minutes. Then we'll see that chance of some flurries. We'll have winds gusting to 40 miles per hour tonight, so hold on to that wheel, steering wheel, especially traveling north and south. That's when you'll have the strongest crosswinds. And then that snow returns late Wednesday night and into Thursday. Could be some accumulating snow as well. SVG Chevrolet camera up in Greenville. Looks like things are drying out there for the time being. Cloudy skies and windy, and live Doppler 2 HD. Not much in the way of rain left around downtown Dayton. Looks like most of the showers have pulled eastward now into Greene County, out into Clark, and also Champaign counties. Logan County, you're seeing some moderate rain just to your west, maybe even a little sleet starting to mix in, and still some rain up into Shelby County around Sidney and back toward Ruche, picking up a little bit of that precipitation as well. well. A lot of cloud cover back to the west. There have been some reports of some snow flurries just to the west and southwest of Indianapolis, but we'll be watching this area of snow up over Lake Michigan. Those northwest winds may bring a little band of moisture down our way later tonight, especially past midnight, bring us that chance of a little bit of light snow. 46 currently as the rain winds down. A west wind at 26 makes it feel like 37. And our weather checker rainfall totals: Lowell, Miller, and Greenville, 0.7 of an inch of rain today. John Kingham, Tip City, 0.6 of an inch of rain. Half inch or so around the Dayton and Kettering areas, and 0.3 of an inch over toward Jamestown. There's our current wind speed out of the west, 26 miles an hour, 28 at Indianapolis. These are sustained winds, and current wind gusts 35 for us, 33 at Muncie, 38 Indianapolis. So we'll see those gusts 35 to 40 this evening. Sustained wind still at 10 o'clock out of the northwest at about 20 miles per hour. Same at 5 a.m. But then finally those winds do back off tomorrow, dropping off more in the range of 5 to 15 during the day. Here comes the colder air. 40 at Richmond, 39 Oxford, 41 degrees Salina, 37 Wapakoneta. So these readings in the mid and upper 40s, not much longer. And we will see that chance of some of those snow flurries around, as I mentioned here tonight. But then we'll get back to drier weather during the day tomorrow, Wednesday afternoon, maybe even back to mostly sunny skies and mostly clear early evening, but then the clouds roll back in, and by the time we get to Thursday morning, some accumulating snow that could impact your Thursday morning commute. Windy, colder tonight. We'll see some rain changing over to flurries, those gusts to 40 miles per hour overnight. Tomorrow, an early morning flurry, then partly sunny, high 34, the hour-by-hour forecast. 31 degrees at noon, 33 at 2 o'clock, mostly sunny at 4 and 6 o'clock, and then we'll see lows in the 20s Thursday morning with that snow moving in, a high of 36. May see a little rain mix in the afternoon, especially south. Upper 30s on Friday, another chance of rain or snow showers Saturday, but after that, a warming trend, 50 on Sunday, and we could be talking mid-60s on Tuesday. So here comes spring next week. But for the rest of this week, a little bit of winter around.
I thought I'd wear my meteorological spring outfit for you today.
It's time to break them out, even though it's going to snow.
Feeling a bit Eastery, Easter egg. All right, Brian, thanks.
Well, the Republican frontrunner campaigns here in the Buckeye State as voters in 12 other states are right now going to the polls. Hundreds of delegates up for grabs on this Super Tuesday, but Donald Trump is already moving on to the later March primaries, including ours here in Ohio in 2 weeks. Trump making a short campaign stop in Columbus this afternoon alongside New Jersey Governor and now supporter Chris Christie.
You got to get people somehow to work together. Our country is so unbelievably divided. It's divided politically. It's divided among white and black. It's divided in so many ways. We're going to bring our country together, folks.
Meantime, Governor John Kasich says he already thinks that Donald Trump is going to win big tonight across the board in all the Super Tuesday states. Governor Kasich did hold some campaign events today in the southern states, including Virginia.
And in about 6 months from now, thousands of people will descend on the Miami Valley for the very first presidential debate.
And today, more than 600 people gathered at Wright State University to celebrate the upcoming presidential debate. 2 News reporter Jordan Bowen spoke with officials about what still needs to be done and who exactly will be able to get those tickets.
It's been more than a year since officials first put in their application to host the debate back in January of 2015, and today faculty and staff celebrated being awarded the big event. The presidential debate on September 26 is the first of 4 debates and will be held at Wright State's Nutter Center. The university will be given a set number of tickets, which they've chosen to only make available to students. They say they could have as many as 100 to 200 tickets available. All of them will be distributed through an online lottery. I spoke with retired Wright State University political science professor Donna Schlehek, who pioneered the initial effort to have Wright State considered for the debate. She says after getting the announcement, they immediately focused on updating their coursework to prepare students for the big day.
I immediately went out and talked to faculty and department chairs to make sure that we had a lot of really good courses on the books for students. And not just for poli-sci majors, but for communication and history majors and any senior student.
And there's still no word yet on how the general public will be able to get tickets. The school says it's waiting for a decision by the Commission on Presidential Debates to determine the debate format, the audience size, and the number of tickets available. Jordan Bowen, 2 News, working for you.
A windy evening across the Miami Valley as a storm system moves through. Brian Davis will have a final check of your forecast when we come right back.
New at 11, getting out in front of the Zika virus. 2 News Investigates travels to Columbus to find out how state leaders are preparing for a potential threat.
And let's get a final look at our forecast.
Well, those temperatures are going to plunge this evening, so nothing like what you saw earlier today with readings up around 50 degrees. We'll be down below freezing by late evening. Gusty winds out there to 40 miles per hour. Wind chills will eventually find their way into the teens later this evening.
All right, Brian, thank you. And thank you for joining us. We hope to see you back here tonight at 10 and 11.
A full hour of nightly news is next. Take care.